Hey guys, my name is Dana. I'm one of the yoga instructors here at Papillion Landing. And for our sequence today, I wanted to focus on another one of the foundational aspects of Vinyasa yoga. So, first class we did downward facing dog, which is very squirrely, very difficult as a beginner, but once you get your alignment correct and you actually get the sensation of being in that pose, it's such an awesome pose, right? So the next one that I wanted to address, excuse me, is the transition from a forward fold to your upward salute, that Urdhva Hastasana, okay? Very foundational to any sun salutation that you're gonna do as a beginner or as an advanced student. But it's one that, for me, caused a lot of neck pain, caused a lot of back issues, and it was awful, did not care for it. So I thought we would break it down, go through the biomechanics of it, check our boxes, and have some spinal integrity for it. So hopefully that'll help you. To begin, I'm gonna have everybody start with knees bent, soles of the feet planted on the mat, roll on back, and keep your knees bent. You can heel toe the feet a little bit wider apart and knock your knees together if that's more relaxing for you. Or you can just keep your feet about hips distance apart. Smush your shoulder blades underneath your upper back, and then you could open up the arms if this is relaxing for you. It helps you center, or maybe hands on the belly. I'm going to take the belly option. So here in our first pose, we would consider this the opportunity to center the practice. So closing the eyes is always good, but more than closing the eyes is bringing the focus internal. So connecting with the breath, kind of setting aside distractions or to-do lists until the session is done. But for now, sinking into the moment, allowing that mindfulness to give you more body awareness so you don't injure yourself, so you can get more out of your practice. And then also really connecting with the breath. Like I said, with Vinyasa, you're breathing in, coming into a pose, you're breathing out, coming out of a pose, the entire practice. So having that rhythmic, even breath is going to benefit you so much in your Vinyasa. All right, so with the eyes closed, with the focus internal, let's just settle here for a few breaths. Let's take 3 more breaths here, using our breaths as a tool. With each inhale, spreading that awareness, and with each exhale, accepting what we find, not passing judgment, good or bad, but just saying, hey, I noticed that. As you finish that third exhale, you can gently blink the eyes open. And then from here, I want you to cross your right thigh high and tight over your left. So not a figure 4, but crossing the right thigh high and tight over the left. You might need to move some calf flesh out of the way. And then draw both knees into the chest. You can wrap your arms underneath that left knee, or if this isn't available for you, you can always just have the hands rest on top of the right knee. I like to find a little rock side to side here in the sleeping cow. The compression of the mat on your back feels really good. So maybe finding that rock side to side, continuing to be mindful of the breath. very slowly, begin to settle the left foot back down on the mat. You can uncross the right leg. And then with your feet staying hip distance apart, scooch your feet closer to you. Okay, so you could reach down with fingertips and graze the tops of your heels. Okay, smush the shoulder blades under your upper back. And then on an inhale, slowly begin to lift your hips up away from the mat. Try to keep your glutes unengaged here. This is just it's our first easy bridge. Take it slow. You don't have to go to the full extent of your range of motion. And when you get to the top, just hang out there for a breath. And exhale, slowly lower the hips back down. Okay. Once the hips come back down, you can scoot your feet a little farther away from you. And then keeping your right foot planted, draw your left knee towards your chest, and then left foot goes up towards the ceiling. I have a tweaky left knee, so I'm not going to do the grasping of the outer blade edge, but if you'd like, for your half-happy baby, you could grasp the outer edge of the foot. I'm going to go for the ankle here. And then you can let the right knee flop out to the side. It feels kind of good to counterbalance you here in the half-happy baby. So even here, as we're warming up and being very slow and gentle, the breath can still be empowering. So sending your breath all the way down to the base of your rib cage, and then powerfully, yet with moderation, allow the exhales to come out through the nose for now. So not a belly breath, not a relaxation breath, but an empowered thoracic breath. If you're grasping the outer blade edge of the foot, slowly release it. You can bring that foot back down to the mat. And then scooch the heels closer to you. Feet are hips distance apart. Smush those shoulder blades under your upper back. And then once again, on an inhale, slowly begin to lift the hips up and away. This time, when you reach the end of your range of motion, you can dig in a little bit deeper. Maybe engage your glutes a little bit more. Try to get just a smidge higher. And then exhale, slowly bring the hips back down to the mat. There we go. Okay, this time, after you walk your feet a little bit farther away from you, cross your left thigh high and tight over your right. Might need to move the calf out of the way a little bit there. And then draw both knees into the chest, either wrapping the arms around both legs, or perhaps having the hands on top of the knees, whatever works best for you. Once again, if you'd like to, you can find that rock side to side. This is a great one to focus on the breath as we begin, because the thigh kind of drawn into the abdomen makes it very difficult to have a belly breath. So kind of some help with that boundary and understanding where to send your inhales. So let's take one more breath here. And then very carefully releasing the right foot back down to the mat. Uncross the left leg. Scoot the heels back towards you. Feet are hips distance apart. Smush the shoulder blades, and then here we go. On an inhale, begin to lift the hips up and away from the mat. And when you reach the end of your range of motion, this time really give it all you've got. See where you can go. Try to stabilize the knees, don't let them flop out to the sides. And exhale, slowly lower the hips back down. Okay, once the hips come back down, step the feet slightly farther away from you. And then this time, draw the right knee into your chest. Right foot goes up towards the ceiling. And then you can grasp the outer blade edge of the foot, or you can grasp the ankle or the calf like I did on the other side. And then just let the left knee flop out to the left. Get that counterbalance. So here, as we're warming up, we are intentionally awakening the quads with these little easy bridges. And then also trying to begin to open the hamstrings. Very gentle, very subtle here in the half-happy baby. But those are two key elements of this transition from a forward fold to an upward salute. So building on that even now. Okay. Very carefully release the right bridge. Here we go. On your next inhale, lift the hips up and away from the mat. When you reach the end of your range of motion, try to get just a little bit higher, really stabilizing those knees. Don't let them flop out to the sides. And exhale, slowly lower the hips back down. Okay. We're gonna rock and roll up to seated if that's possible for you. If not, you can roll to the side of your choice, press into the hands, and come to seated. Once you come to seated, grab your feet, draw them back towards you so you can roll over the knees and come to tabletop. Maybe back it up a little bit. Spread out the fingers wide, make sure your knees are directly underneath your hips. Draw your belly button towards your spine. It's kind of this, it'll feel like you're shrink wrapping your guts. So pull belly button to spine, get some stability for the low back. And then extend the right leg long behind you, toes point down. You don't have to crank it way up there. Just kind of in the same plane as the rest of your body. And then ever so slowly begin to raise the left arm. Let's not forget the breath. It's easy to disengage from that when we're trying to focus on balance. So don't lose that breath. All right. Left hand comes down to the mat, followed by the right knee. Take a big step back with the knees. Lower to the belly. Bring your elbows wide and stack your hands on top of each other. Inchworm your knees as wide as the mat. You can bring your forehead or the temple down to this little pillow created by the hands. Bend the knees so that the feet come up towards the ceiling. On an exhale, both feet flop over to the left. Inhale back through center. Exhale, they drop over to the right. Inhale, center. Just keep this up with the natural rhythm of your breath. Let's do one more on each side after this. After you finish that second side, you can extend both legs long, zip the knees back up together, bring your hands to frame your chest, press yourself up to tabletop, only long enough to bring your knees wide, the big toes together, sink the hips back towards the heels, and then before you come all the way down for a child's pose, you have your arms extended but forehead hasn't come down yet. I want you to take your left hand and cross it over your right. And then you can begin to lower the head. You can rest the side of the face and the temple in this little cradle created by the right bicep and right deltoid. Really focusing on opening up through this left side body. On your next exhale, slowly uncross the hands. And then inhale, press into both hands, rise back up to tabletop. Once you get there, take a big step back with the knees. Bring your elbows down to where your handprints just were. Forearms are parallel. Lower the hips. And take a Sphinx. So you want to make sure in Sphinx that your elbows are never behind your shoulders. You don't like this. So elbows are in front of the shoulders. Neck is neutral, not gazing at the horizon, but looking slightly down. Exhale, forehead comes down, hands come to frame the chest. Press yourself up to tabletop. Once you set it up, get your knees underneath your hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Draw your belly button towards your spine, really engaging transverse abdominis. That's the deepest layer of your core. And then extend your left leg long behind you, toes point down. Remember, you don't have to crank it way up there. Belly button to spine. And then slowly raise the right arm. As the core is engaged here and you add this element of balance, don't lose the breath. Keep it up. Be so mindful of that. All right, right hand comes back down, followed by the left knee. Take a big step back with the knees. Lower to the belly. Elbows come wide, hands stack on top of each other. Scooch the knees as wide as the mat. Forehead comes down. Bend the knees, feet are up towards the ceiling. Exhale, both feet drop over to the right. Inhale back through center. Exhale over to the left. Inhale center. Over to the right. Through center. And one last time to the left. All right, once the feet come back to center, extend both legs long, zip the legs back up together, hands come to frame the chest, press yourself up, only long enough to bring your knees as wide as the mat, big toes together, sink the hips back. All right, once again, begin to extend as if you were gonna do a child's pose, but this time take the right hand, cross it over the left, plant it, and then you can rest the head in that little cradle created by the upper left arm. Remember to keep your hips anchored back. It's easy to kind of begin to shift forward and over. Try to keep your hips back as far as you can. Active here. Exhale, uncross the right hand. Inhale, press into both hands. Rise to your tabletop. Just long enough to take a big step back. Drop down to the elbows. Hips come down. Check your alignment here. Look at your elbows. And then keep the neck neutral. Exhale, forehead comes down. Hands come to frame the chest. Press yourself up to tabletop. And then from here, I want you to step your right knee to the base of your right hand. Okay? Left knee to the base of the left hand. Cross the ankles, roll to your seat. And then uncross the ankles. You can come to land your back. So this is what we're gonna build our mechanics off of. We're gonna begin addressing the mechanics of this transition from a forward fold to an upward salute, laying down. So we have the support of the mat. We don't have to worry about balance. We don't have to worry about all the weight that's being put on the low back. We'll just do it on the mat to start. So, legs are extended long. Feet are about hips distance apart. I want you to pull your toes towards your nose so that your ankles are flexed, okay? Imagine that you're standing. Tuck the shoulder blades underneath the upper back. Arms open up into that Tadasana shape. Okay, draw belly button to spine. On your next inhale, raise the arms, raise your gaze as much as you can. Exhale, you're gonna begin to pull belly button to spine really hard. Start to bend the knees, draw them up, and come into like a knee hug. And here, if it's okay on the neck, you can crunch the nose a little bit. If the neck is tweaky, just keep the head on the floor, okay? So here is our mock forward fold. On your next inhale, lay back with the head, but extend the feet towards the ceiling. Draw your toes towards your nose any amount. And here, this is hard. I mean, you could be way over here with the toes pulled. You don't have to try to be a 90-degree angle, okay? So this is our makeshift half lift. On an exhale, bend the knees and crunch if that's comfortable. And then here we go. For Urdhva Hastasana, from a forward fold, you would begin by engaging the neck, extending the head, getting a flat back. The whole back body is going to engage, okay? So now we have stability in the spine, belly button to spine. We can begin to extend the legs and raise the arms up overhead. Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, Tadasana. Let's do that again. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Belly button to spine. Exhale, draw the knees up. Crunch a little bit. Little forward fold. Inhale, head comes back, feet go to the ceiling. Exhale, little crunch. Here we go. Inhale, begin by extending the neck. Bring the head down, engage your back body. Draw belly button to spine. Then you can begin to straighten the legs. Raise the arms up overhead. Reaching, reaching. And exhale, Tadasana. Let's add on. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. That's your upward salute. Exhale, crunch the knees up. Little crunch with the nose if that's comfortable. Inhale, lay back, feet up to the ceiling. Exhale, you're going to bend the knees, but now rock and roll your way up to seated. Crisscross applesauce, draw your feet towards you. Roll over the knees to come to tabletop. And now we have yogi's choice. You could take a small step back with the knees and come to a knee plank, or you can come to a full plank. Whatever is more comfortable for you. I'm gonna take the full plank this time. Press away from the mat. Don't hang into your bones here. Press away, belly button to spine. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower to the belly. Untuck the toes. Inhale, press into the hands. Keep the neck neutral. Little baby cobra. Exhale, forehead comes down. Press through tabletop. Tuck all 10 toes. Here we go. Lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. You can pedal for a moment. Staying comfortable here. And then I want us to really stick it. Okay? So once you've pedaled and you feel a little bit looser here, let's remember our mechanics. Bend the knees. Press the torso towards the thighs. Then make a butt print on the wall behind you. Okay? Downward facing dog. Inhale up to the top of the mat. Exhale, walk your hands back towards you, little steps. When you get to the back of your mat, your feet should be hips distance apart. Knees are generously bent as you fold. You should have your belly touching your thighs. So as much as you need to bend your knees for that, please do. Belly to thigh. Weight is in the heels. If you want to look more flexible, you can go on your toes, but that's not good for you. So let's have weight in the heels. Release the neck, and a little bit of sass in the hips. Here we go. Forward fold. On an inhale, hands to shins, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees first, and then fold. Walk the hands back out to downward facing dog. Take a moment, check your boxes, and stick it. Right. Come down to the knees. And then step the knees to the bases of the hands. So right knee to the base of the right hand, left knee to the base of the left hand. Cross the ankles, roll to your seat, uncross the ankles, plant the soles of the feet, roll on back, and then draw the knees into the chest. So you could be here for your forward fold, or you could be here. Whatever is best for the neck. Next, inhale, lay back. Take your little half lift. Exhale, bend the knees. Do your little crunch. Here we go, Urdhva Hastasana. Begin with the neck. Engage the back. Flat back first. Oh, so strong. And then begin to extend the legs long. Raise the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands at your sides. Tadasana. Let's keep adding on. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, belly button to spine. Draw the knees up. Little crunch if that's okay. Inhale, lay back, feet up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knees, rock and roll your way. Up to crisscross applesauce, draw the feet towards you, roll over the knees. Come to tabletop, here, yogi's choice. You could take a step back with the knees, come to a knee plank, or take a full plank. Okay, on your next inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower to the belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, forehead comes down. I want you to pause here for a moment, and then reach your right arm up overhead. You can plant your palm on the floor, and then I want you to anchor down through the top of your right foot and through this left hand that's framing your chest. Okay, so those are your anchors, just as when we were doing a spinal balance at the beginning. Okay, so on your next exhale, raise your right arm and your left leg. Keep the forehead down. Inhale to lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Let's do one more. All right. Bring the right hand back to frame the chest. Press into both hands. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, forehead down. Elbows close to the body. Press to tabletop. Tuck all 10 toes. Spread the fingers wide. And lift the hips up and back. Down dog. Pedal for just a moment. Make it comfortable. And then nail it. Bend the knees. Press the torso towards the thighs. And a little sass in the hips. On your next inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, walk the hands back towards your feet. Feet should be hips distance. Generous bend in the knees, belly to thigh. Weight in the heels. Neck is released. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Now plant your left fingertips right below your nose. On your next inhale, Raise your right arm up and to the right. You're gonna have to bend your left knee and shift weight to the right. Raise the right arm. Let's do one more breath here. You can gaze up at your right hand, or if balance is an issue, look down at the mat. Exhale, right hand comes down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees first, fold, walk the hands out to downward facing dog. Take a moment to check your alignment, check the boxes, and then stick it. All right, knees come down to the mat. Step your left knee to the base of your left hand, right knee to the base of the right hand, cross the ankles, roll to your seat, uncross the ankles, and then roll to the back, draw the knees to the chest. You can keep the head lifted, or perhaps lay it down if your neck is talking to you. Inhale, lay back, half lift. Exhale, crunch. Here we go, Urdhva Hastasana. Beginning with the neck, extend the head, engage the back body, belly button to spine, then push into the legs. Raise the arms up overhead. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, right back up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, begin to crunch, there we go. Inhale, lay back, feet up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knees, rock and roll up. Draw the feet back, roll over the knees. And yogi's choice, knee plank or full plank. Actively press away from the mat, belly button to spine. On your next inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower to the belly. Untuck the toes. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, forehead comes down, thunk. Now raise your left arm up overhead. Plant the palm of the left hand against the floor, and then press down through the left foot in this right hand that's framing your chest. On your next exhale, lift the left arm and the right leg. Keep the forehead down. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Let's do one more. All right. Left hand comes to frame the chest. Inhale, press into both hands, cobra. Exhale, forehead down, press into the hands, come to tabletop, just long enough to tuck your toes, and press the hips up and back to down dog. Take a moment, get comfortable, press the hips up and back, bend the knees, torso to thighs. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, walk the hands back. When you get there, knees are generously bent, weight is in the heels, neck is unengaged, a little bit of sass in the hips. Inhale, hands to shins, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Here we go, right fingertips right below your nose. Inhale, left arm up. You're gonna have to shift to the left, bending the right knee. One more breath here. Exhale, left fingertips come down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees first and then fold. Walk those hands out. Downward facing dog. All right, knees come down. Let's do right knee to the base of the right hand this time. Left knee to the base of the left hand. Cross the ankles. Roll to the seat. Uncross the ankles. Roll to the back. Draw the knees towards your chest. Inhale, lay back, feet to the ceiling. Exhale, crunch. Here we go, Urdhva Hastasana. Check your boxes. Begin by extending the neck. Engage the back body, belly button to spine, and then press into the feet. Raise the arms. Exhale, Tadasana. All right, let's keep adding on. This is getting serious, you guys. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, bend the knees, crunch. Inhale, feet to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knees, and then rock and roll. Draw the feet back. Come to plank or a knee plank. Yogi's choice, belly button to spine. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower to the belly. Inhale, press into the hands, cobra. All right, this time, exhale, thread your left or your right forearm in front of you so that your right forearm is parallel to the top of the mat. Okay, left hand is still framing the chest. Press into the left hand, roll up onto the right side. You might want to scoot your right elbow back so that your right elbow is directly underneath your right shoulder. And none of this, you want to keep lots of space between the right ear and the right shoulder. Okay, bend the left knee, plant the left foot behind the right knee, and on your next inhale, lift the hips up and away from the mat for Vashisthasana. Okay, none of this. Really try to find lots of space between your hips and the mat. One more breath. And exhale, hips come down. Left hand comes down. Roll to the belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, forehead down. Press through tabletop, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Pedal, pedal, pedal. And then nail it. Here we go. Right. I want you to bring your knees down as wide as the mat. Big toes together. Sink your hips back towards your heels. Extend the arms up overhead. This is going to get a little weird, so I'm going to try to cue you through it. You're going to begin to draw your right hand back towards you. All the way back past the knee. Then you'll have to turn the wrist. Begin to raise the right arm as you press into your left hand to rise. Trying to coordinate all these moving parts. Right hand comes all the way back down. And then drag it back towards you as you sink your hips back towards your heels. Same thing, it goes all the way behind you. Begin to raise the right arm as you press into the left hand. Coming all the way up. There we go. Right fingertips touch the floor. And then press back, hips to heels. Draw the right hand back. You can coordinate your breath to the movement here. So every time your right hand begins to come down, exhale. And then as you begin to raise the right arm, inhale. Let's do one more. It's almost like a freestyle swim or something. Okay, this time when you drag your hand back towards you, just stop for a brief moment in a child's pose. One breath. On your next inhale, press into the hands. Slowly rise to tabletop. Might need to bring those knees in a little bit, as well as the hands. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Brief pedaling, and then nail it. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, walk the hands back towards you. Knees are generously bent. Feet are hips distance apart. Weight in the heels, belly to thigh. Release the neck. Oh my goodness. On your next inhale, hands to shins, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Left fingertips under your nose. Inhale. Raise the right arm up and to the right. Exhale, the right hand comes back down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Here we go. Urdhva Hastasana from forward fold. Don't go from here. Bend the knees a little bit deeper. You gotta dip your hips lower. Quads are talking to you, I know. But where do we go from here? Just like in our little ball on the mat, you begin. Inhale, engage the neck, engage the back body. Strong back body. Now you can begin to coordinate this pressing into the feet and raising of the arms. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, right back up. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, half lift. Let's try it again. Exhale, fold. Here we go. Sink the hips a little bit lower. Inhale, engage the neck, flat back, strong back. Then press into the feet, raise the arms up overhead. Exhale, Tadasana. So from here, we're gonna do a little walking crunches. So, I'm trying to think, let's see. So I'm gonna have you begin out of Urdhva Hastasana. So inhale, raise the arms, raise the gaze, but have your hands face the front of the mat, okay? Exhale, belly button to spine, crunch your left knee towards your chest as you lower the arms. Inhale, roll through the foot as you raise the arms. Exhale, crunch left knee. Inhale, raise. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, raise. Exhale, crunch. One more time. Inhale, raise. Exhale, crunch. Feet are hips distance apart at the top of the mat. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Here we go, what do we do? Sink the hips lower. Begin with the neck, the head, strong back, flat back. And then press into the feet, raise the arms. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, right back up. Exhale, bend the knees first and then fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, and step both feet back to plank. Actively press away from the mat, belly button to spine. Here we go. From here, step the left knee to the base of the left wrist. Right knee to the base of the right wrist. Cross the ankles, roll to the seat. You know where we're going from here. Roll on back. Draw the knees to your chest. You can either have the head against the mat or your little crunch. Inhale, feet to ceiling. Exhale, crunch. Here we go. Just as when we were standing, begin with the neck. Engage the back, strong back, belly button to spine. Begin to extend the legs long. Raise the arms up overhead. And exhale, Tadasana. Let's do that on the other side. Here we go. Inhale, raise. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, feet to ceiling. Exhale, bend the knees, rock and roll. Seated. Draw the feet towards you. Roll to tabletop. Either take a knee plank or a full plank. Yogi's choice. Actively press away from the mat. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower to the belly. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, ooh, forehead doesn't come down. Slide your left forearm in front of you so that the forearm is parallel with the top of the mat. Press into the right hand, roll up onto the left side. Might need to pull that left elbow slightly back. Get your alignment and don't sag here. Actively press away. Bend the right knee, plant the right foot behind your left knee. On an inhale, lift the hips up away from the mat. Don't sag here. Try to find lots of space between you and the mat. One more breath, you got this. And exhale, lower the hip. Right hand comes to the mat. Both hands frame the chest. Inhale, little baby cobra. Exhale, forehead comes down. Press into the hands, come to tabletop. Bring the knees as wide as the mat, big toes together. Sink the hips back. We're getting ready for that freestyle kind of child pose swim, I don't know what to call it, from the left side. So, beginning with the left hand, drag it back towards you. Goes all the way past the left knee. And then begin to rise as you raise the left arm, shift forward, touch the left hand to the floor, and then pull it back with you. Sink the hips to the heels, forehead comes down, all the way back. Begin to raise the left arm, shift forward. All right, let's try coordinating the breath to this. So, as you begin to raise the left arm, inhale. Exhale as you lower and drag the left hand back. Let's do one more with breath coordinated. All right, sink the hips back. Both hands are extended above you, child's pose. Just one breath here. Inhale, press into both hands. Begin to rise, come to that tabletop. Tuck all 10 toes. Press the hips up and back to downward facing dog. You can take a moment to pedal here, or you can just stick it. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, little baby steps with the hands, back towards the feet. You know what we're doing here. Forward fold. You know your checklist now. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees first and fold. Right fingertips below the nose. Inhale, raise the left arm up and to the left. And exhale, lower the left hand. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Here we go, Urdhva Hastasana, it's coming. Bend the knees a little bit deeper, sink the hips down. What starts this whole transition is the neck. Engage the back body, it's so strong. And then, kick into the feet. Reach for the ceiling. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, right back up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Here we go, Urdhva Hastasana. Sink the hips, engage the neck, the back, and then press up. Exhale, Tadasana. All right, so we're gonna do those walking crunches once again, but we're gonna do them a little bit differently this time, okay? So, inhale, you're gonna raise your arms up overhead, but this time palms face each other. As you exhale, you're gonna touch the hands together like in prayer, and then crunch across the body. So right elbow to left knee. Inhale, roll through the left foot. Exhale, crunch right knee. Inhale, roll through the foot. Belly button to spine here, crunch. Roll through the foot. It's okay if you're a little wobbly. All right, last crunch. Feet are hips distance apart at the top of the mat. Raise the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Here we go. Sink the hips a little bit lower. Engage the neck. Back body is strong. Press into the feet. Reach for the ceiling. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, right back up. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step both feet back to plank. Actively press away from the mat, belly button to spine. No dip in your booty or parking it. Try to have that rod connecting crown to heels. And then step the left knee to the base of the left hand, right knee to the base of the right hand. Cross the ankles, roll to the seat. You know the drill. Roll on back. Inhale, feet to ceiling. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, begin with the neck just as if we're standing. And then kick in the legs. Reach for the stars, or for the back wall for this matter. And then exhale, Tadasana. Okay, let's cool down. Step the heels wider than the hips. Let the feet flop out to the sides. You can either keep the arms down here in that Tadasana shape, or raise the arms up overhead, take a full body stretch. All right, arms come down, bend the feet, or not bend the feet, bend the knees, plant the soles of the feet on the mat. And then press into both feet, lift your hips just about an inch away from the mat, shift them way over to the right, set them back down. Draw the knees into the chest, and then you're going to use your hands to guide the knees over to the left. But as you do it, you can open up the knees here a little bit. It can be kind of tweaky to have the heels close to your sit bones here in the supine twist. So if you want to open up the legs a little bit, that can feel really good. Arms come to a T, and then finally, figure out what feels best for the neck here, whether it's looking straight up at the ceiling or over one of your shoulders. Here as we begin to prepare for our Shavasana, you're welcome to employ that belly breath. Let's take 2 more breaths here. After that second exhale, slowly begin to pull the legs back towards the midline, but not all the way. Okay. And then bring the left hand underneath the left thigh, draw belly button to spine, help the knees back up to vertical. Once you do, shimmy your way back into the middle of the mat. And then for a full happy baby, draw both knees towards the chest, feet go up towards the ceiling with bent knees, and then grasp with both hands either the outer blade edges, or for me, I'm going to go for this one on the left. And then perhaps find that rock side to side. Let's take one final breath here in the full happy baby. And then very carefully release either the outer blade edge or the calf. Bring the soles of the feet back down to the mat. Smush the shoulder blades under the upper back. Press into the feet, lift the hips just about an inch. Shift them way over to the left, set them down. Draw the knees into the chest. And then using the hands, guide the knees over to the right, and if you want, open up. Arms come to a T, and then find what feels good for the neck here. Let's take 2 final breaths here in the supine twist. As you finish that second exhale, you can slowly begin to pull the legs back towards the midline, but not all the way. Reach down with the right hand underneath the right thigh. Belly button to spine held, the knees back up to vertical. Shimmy your way back into the middle of the mat, and then just extend both legs long, raise the arms up overhead. One final full body stretch. And then bring the arms down, about 45 degrees away from the body. Smush the shoulder blades under the upper back. Bring the heels as wide as the mat, and then let the feet flop out to the sides. From here, you would take your Shavasana, anywhere from 3 to 7 minutes, really settling into the body, not moderating the breath in any way, just letting it be natural and unefforting. And for those 3 to 7 minutes, just allow the mind to be really blank and empty and just soaking up your practice. Okay, so I'm going to trust you to do that so you get the most out of your practice.